Sitting here with Carl Ellis doing another interview. Probably forgot the questions, but I've run through them so long. I'm going to turn that around and make sure it's more on him because he's better looking than me. And just ask him a few questions, and we're going to sort of have a quick talk about the film, about his life, and
start with your fingers, which make it even harder for you to bang out a tune in that bit.
This is Carl. How you doing, Carl? Lovely
Very
to see
well,
you.
yeah, very good. Yes, it's very good.
So, tell me about yourself. How did you? What's your background in acting and things like that, and what you've been doing?
So I started my very first show, which was Paddington Bear in Mile End. So, and I was 6 years old when I did that, and I fell in love with being on stage at that time, because for me, being on stage and just receiving the applause, it's all energy. And at 6 years old, I had no idea what I was experiencing, but for me, it was like, God, this is great. People actually love me, and I think that's what a lot of artists do as well.
What I say, people say to me about, why do you keep going? Why do you keep going? And I always say, are you religious? And when you speak to somebody who's religious, they about as a Christian or a Muslim or a Sikh, and they say, my religion is everything. It means everything to me.
Yes,
I can't live in bread. When acting gets into your blood, it's like that. That's all that matters. And it does cause problems in your life because you become so focused on it that's it. So, what have you been doing? Did you go to drama school?
Yeah, so I went to. Funny enough, I went to the same college, Barking College. Big up to Mr. Idris Elba, Sean Escoffrey. A lot of you guys probably know Sean Escoffrey and Idris Elba. Sean Escoffrey played the Mufasa in The Lion King in London, so he's in London now.
Oh yeah, well, we had a mutual friend. What was it? He done a film for me. That got he actually said I forget his name. I'm terrible for names as well. But he was in our film called 10%, and he played Mustafa there. Big American guy.
Oh right, yes. Okay.
Yeah. You remember him?
Yeah, and then I went to also we have Idris Elba, who you guys probably know, Luther
Just a bit.
in the UK and stuff like that, and he's.
And Gary was in this film.
Stuff.
Was actually done an episode of Luther with.
Oh really?
Yeah, and I told him, "You won't do no more. You got shot." He went, "But did I?"
He's going to come back, raised from the dead. So I did. I grew up in theatre. I then went to Germany with my wife at the age of, after the shows in London, at the age of 31, which I played the Papa Train in Star Express, and I stayed there for like 7 years. So, sprechen in the Deutsch, spreche alle, and I loved it there. But then, after the children grew up, I decided to come back. But it's mainly been theatre, and I was fortunate enough to meet you.
Yeah,
you blessed me so much to get into that.
I really did. Listen, I really didn't. I just spot people when I like what they do and the way they stand for it, talent and everything else. So, just briefly tell them how you got involved in this film, Tales of the Underworld.
So, Tales of the Underworld. So, basically, Anthony, we met in Colchester. It was quite interesting because I saw it was completely full of youngsters. So let me paint a picture. It's like an institute where in Colchester they invite people to come who are like-minded and like to do films or directors and writers and things of that nature. And I thought, let me just go. Let me just check it out, see what it's all about. And then I went, and Anthony was speaking, and what he said for me was extremely touching in his experience, because for me, when I listen to artists, actors, a lot of them, no disrespect to them, but a lot of them have a preconceived idea of being on stage and the lights. But once you realise, you understand it's bloody hard work. It's hard work getting there. And what you said really resonated with me, and I was like, well, this guy is he's true. He's a little
thank you very much.
He's a little bit older than me, about two or so years, and I thought, you know what,
I look a lot older and all, but
it's hard work, right?
Yeah, it's but so I mean, we approached you about this role, and what made you think you could bring something more to it? Because I mean, I don't like doing things traditionally, but I like them to be real, so that people actually engage with the characters.
Yeah. Well, I thought, you know, as you know, I just finished Rada, so I finished that, and for me, I was looking, because I did theatre for so many years, and I thought, okay, I want to try something different. And when he explained the role to me, it was such an intriguing role, because, like I said before, it was true and true to me. You know, not sugar coated, but just true to an element of myself. And I think we all have elements of ourselves. You know, we've got kind elements, we got, you know, murderous elements, we got aggressive elements. Like my wife, she's a very kind, gentle woman, but you try to trouble her children and she'll kill you for it. So, you know, we all have elements, and I saw that element within myself as a character, and I thought, you know what, this is, I could feel this character and do him justice.
Oh, good. I mean, because, you know, I'd never worked with you before, and I mean, I don't know how many films you worked on, but what was your biggest thing that you spotted that sort of working on an independent film and to a big budget film? I mean, a lot of people do say, you know, a couple of minutes said they actually get treated far better on our film than you do on some of the major movies. But certainly. It's obviously, there's so much more crew and things like that. How did you realise how we were actually shooting? Because, I mean, when you first started with us, you were standing in the street and James was under a tree.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you know, through the years, I've done a lot of projects and a lot of shows, and so I can really, I think I have like a sixth sense that tells me, you know, about the crew. And first of all, big shout out to the crew, because they were amazing. But it's the warmth that I felt, and the reason why is, if you compare that to huge productions, you know, a lot of the times it's almost like you're like a pawn. Right, and it's just like, you know, it's just like, oh, you know what, there's millions of yous out there, we can get anyone we want and blah, blah, blah. But when I came to you, because it's an independent, it's almost like a real kind of family element that was there. I mean, and I felt that, you know.
Yeah, I mean, what I liked, I mean, some of the productions I worked on, you get there, you see the wardrobe, you do that, you get put in your Winnebago, and that's it. Then they call you, come on set. And you don't have really a chance to connect with them. When I'm on set, I like to connect with everybody, the crew, the other actors, you know, to get a relaxed feeling. With independent film, you have no choice.
No, you don't.
You have no choice. Everyone's got to get on, because everyone needs it. We haven't got. I think Jimmy said in one of his interviews, what budget gets you, it buys you time.
Yes.
It buys you that you are not rushing every set. You can do 5 scenes, 6 scenes a day, and make sure them 5 or 6 scenes are perfect.
Yes.
And this is what I've said with Darren with the editing. I've said to him, after his what he did with Lucas and Albert, I said, it'll be done when Darren's ready.
Yeah.
I don't want to just get it out and then look at it and think, oh shit, we should have did this. It will be done when it's ready. So, I mean, what sort of films do you like to watch, and you know, what sort of creative films do you like to stuff?
I'm a little bit ashamed to say this, actually,
yeah.
But you know, I like kind of musicals and things like that.
So do I.
Like, funny enough, we just went to see Oliver.
Oh.
And
I saw the clip of the guy doing Fagin, and when I watched it first of all, I thought,
let me down.
I thought, But then I watched it a couple of times and thought, no, he's tried something different. He's tried to be, and with a bit with a hand and everything. And I actually
exactly.
Thought, because it's because Ron Moody made such an iconic character of it, which was actually stolen from Alec Guinness's version in, you know, the David Lean's, you know, Oliver Twist.
Right.
That he made such a thing that he literally made a conscious decision saying, I'm not going to be the same.
Yes.
And one of the best ones I ever saw was Omid Jamali. Playing Fagin, and he was brilliant.
Oh, really?
Especially an Arab playing a Jew.
Yeah,
he was brilliant.
Yeah, what a confusion! Multiple personality disorder.
It was like the infidel. It was brilliant. It was actually good.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen lots of Russ Abbott, Roy Hudd, people like. But it's I like that. So, what other musicals do you like?
So musicals, my favourite, I would have to say, was the Wizard of Oz. I loved that.
That's all right.
1939, I believe it came out.
I saw the stage production as well.
Yeah, and funny enough, it took 25 years to actually make its progress and to be really well known. Oh my goodness, Magnificent Seven, Yul Brynner. the Ten Commandments. Movies like that, just iconic, strong character,
I know
strong
people
roles.
get surprised that when I find that when we're artistic and things like that, they expect us to say, "Oh yeah, I love that one, I love this," and all of a sudden you'll come up with a movie. They go, "Really?" And I go, "Yeah, it was just pure fantasy for me. I enjoyed it. You know, it was nothing special. It's like with westerns. People go, "Oh, what do you like?" Magnificent Seven is one of my favourite. It's not authentically true, but The Searchers, Tombstone, I love that. I mean, especially now Val Kilmer just stole the thing, and it's just my music. I like the old traditional musicals. I do like My Fair Lady. I do like Oliver. I do like Camelot. I love Lerner and Lowe. You know, but it's it's good. But having said that, what sort of role, if you've got somebody give you a magic wand?
Frank Bruno.
Yeah, you like Frank Bruno. You've mentioned that.
Yeah, I do like him, and the reason why is because his character rings true to mine. Yeah. The only thing is I haven't been sectioned yet.
I've worked with Frank, and he's a very nice, genuine.
Oh,
he's got a friend,
diamond.
mutual friend called Cass, and I know that there's Sean Cronin is putting together a film about Michael Watson. So boxing films are always been part of Hollywood, and
I mean, look at Rocky.
I made a film called 10%, which was about the world title fight in '37 between Braddock and Lewis.
Right.
And they're always there, although once you try and get funding for them, there's a big question. Oh, nobody wants this. And you think, $1 Billion Baby, somebody up there likes me, Raging Bull. It's because boxing is a big theatre, just like for us. So I mean, you'd like to play Frank Bruno. I mean that. I mean, I think I'm not being nasty. That is. That's probably one of the best characters to actually do, because you went through such a turmoil, and I could see you as Frank Bruno.
Yeah, I mean, thank you. I mean, I see it like his mental issues, and just I can't imagine facing Tyson. I mean, put yourself in his shoes at that particular time with his marital problems and this and that, and the press, and his whole life just exposed. That's it takes a strong man and good people around him, and I've had that kind of experience, not to that degree, but I've had people around me who are quite supportive. But mental health is a real thing. It is a real issue, and people suffer from it, and a lot of the times people just wash it aside. But I thank God for you and bringing it to the forefront, and things like that, so we can actually start to say that, listen, as men, of course it is okay to have an issue. Of course it's okay to be able to talk about it. You can't be like that big, massive lion all the time. Sometimes we have elements of, weakness and in strength and
it's
support.
good.
So,
I mean, that's characters. I mean, with Tales of the Underworld, which is what I've got to know you on, and I've got a couple of other projects I want to talk to you about, but I'm not going to mention at the moment because I'm just up there, but I'm going to talk to Carl about them. With Tales of the Underworld, this gangster genre is very big, but I'm very, very. I make sure that I don't make these people out to be, which they have been, like Wild West heroes. I mean, when you go into Wild West films and you look at these characters like Wyatt Earp and Billy the Kid and all that, and Jesse James, they were ruthless. They were. I mean, I wrote a play about it. Dick Turpin's a hero, but he was basically an armed robber. I mean, you've got Robin Hood, a fictional character, robbed for the poor, and I always said, I bet he kept some for himself. And it's the same with, like, when we get with the Crays and the Richardsons and other gangsters, they've got this fairy tale mythology. And I try to say, if you're involved in that life, it can be ended just like that, which it's brought over more in America, but not so much in this one. I mean, how did you feel this film sort of tackled that?
So when I look at the character, for me, he was in a position where he's under somebody, so he has a position, but he's not the boss. And as we all know, like, especially coming from London, with gangsters, I was never a gangster. I grew up in Mile End, Craig Twins. I knew them very much. I worked with Lenny McLean at the Hippodrome, and it can go from 0 to 100 in a split second.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So even though he's there and he seems like quite a menacing character, we had no idea what the protagonist was carrying, or anything could have happened. And so someone like this character, I just felt that he was quite vulnerable because he wasn't like the kingpin. He was under somebody.
And I always like to say that when I was saying to you, I've actually written a whole lot of backstory to this guy. Right. Although we only see a small part of this time, if we do go on to do more, in the books, there's a whole massive backstory. And I like to give people backstories. Yeah, but I also like actors to invent. How do you invent a character? I mean, we give you the rough synopsis of the back character. Yeah. How do you look at it? Alec Guinness used to like to find the shoes.
Yeah. So for me, mine is basically on experience and being in the position and trying to understand the character, and more so try to understand the writer of what he wants, and then try to encompass it. And that's a good thing about when you're slightly older as well, because you have experience of things like that. You have experience, and you know how a person would truly react in a certain situation. Like you say, you don't want to, you sugarcoat it and make it like a super gangster and like glamorous. It's not a glamorous lifestyle. It's quite scary.
Well, I think I've always said pugilists, thespians and gangsters run in the same corridors for the simple reason they keep the same timeline. And I remember I did a film called Charlie, and there was quite a few colourful people there. It was based on Charlie Richardson.
Right.
And they were the most affable, laughable,
yeah,
cheery people you ever done.
Absolutely.
And they were always joking, they was always nice and everything. And I just thought at any moment, if something went slightly wrong, this could explode. And not in a such way of a right hand or a left hook, but I mean explode with repercussions after. Yeah. And
loss of life as well.
It's like, exactly. And where's such and such out? They disappear.
Yeah.
And people don't tend to that, and that's what worries me about when we're doing things and young people look at it. I mean, there's a certain program when I was watching at the moment. No, that's not mine. No. And some people were sort of doing that. It proves it's live, doesn't it? And
we are live.
some people go, like, I watched the program recently, and like there's machine guns going on the streets of London, and I'm like, I've never seen that. Yeah. Because if it did happen, very similar to what happened in the 60s, it would have been stopped.
Yes.
And the authorities would have done things. I mean, what they did in the 60s with the train robbers, increasing sentences, then they went after the Krays, and they went after Richardson's, and they went after the Krays. Yes. But as Bruce Reynolds always said, he said, the moment you did that, you put a gun in every bank robber's hand. Yeah. But I've never, I've obviously seen shootings and all that on TV, and we've heard about it, but not to the extent. And sometimes I think that glamorises it.
Yes.
And
this is, sorry if I just interject as well, this is why I think The Tales of the Underworld is such, excuse me, such a great movie, because I was watching Top Boy on Netflix, and I was like, oh my God, it's like, they glamorise these actors to be like, well, what's up, blood? I'm going to cut you up, man. You know what I mean? It's like, and I think to myself, does the writer actually consider the implications of these influential young people? And I think with your writing as well, not to put Netflix or Top Gun down,
not. It's their choice.
It's a great movie.
And an opinion's an opinion. Yeah. We'll know what to say about opinions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I think it's a great series or what have you. But this, you can tell that it's come from a seasoned writer, someone who's experienced many things. I mean, I've been in the business, so I know. But it's you can sense by the writing, and the writing brings that energy. And I suppose that's what made me jump to it. Really, was the energy of what you'd written, and the relationships with the other characters, and how it was so tense at certain points.
I think one of the best gangster films I made was A Long Good Friday, and there was very actual little violence in it, although they called it violence. Yeah. But it was how quick it ended.
Yes.
How quick it changed.
Yes.
How that 1 minute a guy's swimming in a swimming pool, he gets out, and he's dead.
Yes.
I try to do that when the hits are happened, you don't know it's coming.
No, you don't, and that's the reality.
I think one of the girls in, which is Cassandra, she says, what I can't believe is the hope and happiness on their face just before I know I'm going to take their life.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, It's that, you know, it's the classic thing. Ronnie Craig walks into the blind beggar, short stew, gone elf, bang. He thinks he's going to get away with it, and that was it. And that's what affects me. You know, characters like you, it's the mindset, and so I mean that's why it interests me. Like someone like yourself gets into that character.
Yes, and I feel that, you know, someone like that, you know, as you say, it can go just in a split second. In a split second, something can just go wrong, all wrong. You can regret it, spend 20 years in prison, you could be dead, lose a loved one, and I think your writing really brings that to the forefront, you know, and that's what I love about the character. I think he's
What I've noticed about gangsters as well, they haven't got conscience. I couldn't do what they did because I'd forever be thinking about what I did.
Yes.
And the repercussions I've had on their lives and their family.
Yes.
These people don't give a monkey's. They don't give a monkey's. The fact that they might go in and shoot somebody, that they've killed a son, a dad, something like that, and they don't care if they go to prison.
They don't.
Because it's they don't think about tomorrow at all. It's about the right now, and that's what frightens me.
Yeah, it is, and I think men, as we all know, men are the aggressors, and we're born like that. You know, we're not like cavemen. But we do have a lot of these tendencies that are quite aggressive, and I think it's so important to acknowledge that as well. You know, especially the old gangsters. You know, the old Al Pacinos and nothing like that. You know, they're ready to die for what they believe in. You know, and I think that's such an important aspect that you brought in, and that I portray as the character as well.
Yeah, but we'll have to check the people behind us, but. We had a good cast on this, okay?
Amazing.
If you was just to sort of end everything here, mate. What if you was able to work on a project, one single project with certain actors, what would you do? If given your wish list again, magic wand, you could work with one actor, past or present, and one film, past or present. What would you like to work on?
I say Yul Brynner.
You'd like to be we'll work with Yul Brynner.
Yeah, because his acting, his poise, his timing was so wonderful. And I know I could learn a lot from someone like that, seasoned actor.
As you can see, we've got a couple back behind us who are telling us about the knitting. Good luck to them. They're really good, nice people. But it's been nice. So, where do you see this film, Tales of the Underworld, going? What are you hoping to? I know we've got screenings planned and that, but what would you hope that comes from it?
Well, first of all, I wish you most success, and I would urge everyone who's to watch this, because it really is a great movie. And not only that, it also helps independent films, because we've got to bring business back to the UK. Do you know, we've got to bring the actors back, got to bring
people back into the cinemas.
Into the cinemas, really.
Same way. I mean, I've started watching theatrical performances on the cinema now because I can't always get to the West End. And the cinema can offer so much, and if independent cinemas can get behind us and we can get behind them, we could actually get people, because it's no better. As you saw the other day when we showed Luke's and Albert, even Darren said, I forgot how good it looked on the big screen. Mind you, we both sat there and picked holes in it, because that's what you do. I picked holes in, because that's why I very rarely watch myself, because all I ever do is pick. But what will it mean to the industry if we can get cinemas back into theatrical releases and not discarding screening? But I noticed that DVDs are coming back.
Well, I think it's a big circle. So I think now what's actually happening is people are watching TV more, and you know, I think what they should actually, I think the goal really should be the social aspect of films, the social aspect of going out.
That's a damn good point, because we're losing that.
Because we're losing that.
Pubs,
we don't have
community centres,
and
going out. You're right.
And if you had something like, you know, a great movie where everyone wants to come down, they're saving themselves 60 quid, travelling to the West End to go see a movie. You come here, you not only filling the seats, but you know, you get hotels, they're benefiting as well. You know, the car parks, the drinks, the food, the restaurants, everyone benefits.
And that's a benefit about making a film in an area like
That's
this.
what I'm saying,
Making a film in like this, that they become part of it.
Yeah.
We not only help boost their economy,
Yes.
but then it has a knock-on factor. Say, look, they can use this. Say, we was part of this film.
Yes.
I mean, yesterday in Clacton, Essex Serpent, Slow Horses, Inspector Lindley Mysteries. Loads of films, even Hiding High, but was down at Harry's years ago.
Was it? Yeah, I remember that.
It was like just the
Yeah.
beach scenes.
Yes, yes.
And
Yes.
it
really
gives,
does.
gives an area a lot more. I mean,
you really-
where you live, Colchester's up the road.
Yeah.
And it's an important town.
Yeah,
it's
it is.
the first town.
It is, and you have to support. You really have to support not only our independent movies, but just the whole sphere of independent movies. Full stop. Especially in the UK. I mean, we got some great. You know, the scenery here, the beaches and all that kind of stuff all around. And I say, well, Clacton, I love it. I love Clacton. It's just nice. And we've got to encourage people because apart from the weather, summertime, it looks amazing.
It looks amazing out there today.
Today it looks fantastic. I'm
And
shocked actually.
I will take it even further. I think it's the whole of East of England. We seem to get forgotten, especially North Essex, but the whole of East of
We've
England.
got to bring it back. We've got to bring it back. We're capable of doing it. We've got actors. We've got who've done it. They've done it before. Do you know what I mean? So
it's
support. Share, subscribe. Give it all you got. You know what I mean? And it's a great movie. And we want to bring people together.
Well, thanks, Carl. Thank you
Thanks
very
very
much
much.
again
Yeah,
for coming
lovely.
to talk to
Appreciate
me
it.
again.
Take
Always
care.
a pleasure meeting you.
Bobby.
That's Carl. Wait for the next ones we're going to be doing very soon with everyone else. But me and Carl's going to finish our coffee and have more of a chat.
Enjoy it.
See you later.
Take care.
Bye.